Good morning, traders. Paul here with GammaEdge. Today is Tuesday, the 4th of April. Let's get started. Pause your players here. Read to the very bottom. If you agree, hit that play button. Summary for today. We still have that continuation up day. Yesterday worked out. Today's probably going to do more of the same or not. We don't know. This isn't predictive, but it is back tested. Both these, what we call tag combos, these are ways that we back tested this. They have meaning, and their detailed meanings are in the Discord. They are in play to the long side. We use the SSO, the QLD, UWM, and DDM as ways to play this. These are 2x leveraged ETFs. You can set your profit targets. You can set representative drawdowns. This is the maximum drawdown 50, which is known as your average drawdown, and MD95, which is known as your right tail drawdown. Open to close, this is typically what we see. Long-term bearish, though, in the big picture. The ribbon is still inverted. The thing to take away here, though, is that we are moving up on 3 of the 5 various CTs. The ARCX, which is the one that we have heavily back-tested and use as our primary signal. It is above the ribbon, it is staying above the ribbon, and it looks pretty darn good. Market breadth is viewed by the 52-week new high, new low. Had another day where we clocked the new highs above the new lows. Starting to put a little bit of space between here. Need to put more space, but 176 versus 166 down. It is our second day that we've done this in a sea of red. Transition ranges are broken. You'll see that on the charts, but we will note that positive transition across multiple time frames is in this 4100 to 4115 area. It depends on what slice you're looking at, but the key takeaway is this is the area, right? If we get below this area right here, you know that we've got challenges in the market, and you'll see that here on the next few slides. Goalposts, 3,800 to the left, 4,200 to the right. In the combo complex, we will note the 4,150 is a clear upside short-term target. No questions about that. For the Discord users, watch the value SPXP, which is our PM settled symbol, for targeting above this 4,200, up to 4,200, and then also we're also noting a growth of the 4250 of all things, so also watch for targeting, short-term targeting up at that area. That'll drive short-term gamma and deltas up even faster. 0DTE, folks, the dominant sensitive areas are 4100 to the downside. We've got a positive charm flow there, and 4150 to the upside. If we capture the 4150 to the upside, we're expecting a full push. Obviously through 4175 to 4200, it'll be pretty compelling, I think, that we'll get up there. If we take 4150, just because of the strength of the puts and the calls that are out there. And then a drop below 4100 opens the door down to, we have a node that's sitting at 85, and then another one that's 7 at 75, and then it drops all the way on down to 4005. So I'd be very cautious of a drop below 4075 because it opens the door to moving aggressively lower. As I said, the cumulative tick model, we've got this railroad track up pattern. We've got, a continuation day over day where the CT is continuing higher. You can see the convergence of the ribbon where the short-term moving average is now converging on the long-term moving average. And if this trend continues, we will get a reversal where this will invert and then it'll go long, and that'll be an all-in signal as long as the CT remains above it. So typically this signal lasts less than 11 trading days. What we're looking here is a pullback and then a rebound. And if we get a pullback that stays in fairly good territory, allows us to digest some of the gains that we're experiencing right now, that would be a great thing. And then we would be entering even additional progressive exposure to the long side to go higher here. When we take a look at gamma on the EMinis, we'll note we are up on plus GEX, so we've got a number of call speculators that are building out here. We also will note, unfortunately, that we're seeing a movement up in P-trans, and I say unfortunate because when we see that move up, it's typically due to some calls being monetized. It's also due to, in part, puts being opened right at the money or very, very close to at the money. So the combination of that could be bullish or bearish depending on your time frame. So just want to put a little bit of a cautionary tale out there. COI remains at 4,200. Oh, excuse me, down from 4,300. That's a fairly significant deal. And then minus trans, I should say 4,200. I don't know why it says 42,000. Basically is coincident with that. When we see this, they're separate. COI is just a measure of where the maximum count across all expiries and the tenors are for the ES, and basically 4,200 holds that number. Minus trans is the area where that strike and below, where we have a negative gamma starting all the way on down here to minus gex. So that's, you can see we're right in that area. If we do take 4,200 in the ES, that opens the door to transitioning upward. And it could be anything at that time. So we'll just have to play this case by case. We'll note overnight session, VIX is down. And when VIX is going down, that is constructive for the bulls. And we'll just have to see what happens here. If you're not running the charm charts within the Discord, you're missing out, I think, on some really key sensitive indicators for you and where you can play things off. And so 4,100 down here, 4,150 here, you can see some other nodes. You can, in the Discord, you can spin these around and do all sorts of things with them. Would just urge everyone to become very familiar with this. For me, this is a go-to chart. I run it all the time. This is a 7-day. So SPXP, and just run it out for 7 days, and I restrict the range fairly tight so I can zoom in on it. Taking a look at the gamma, this is the PM settled complex. Transition's pretty fat. You can see a couple areas that are popping up here. That 4,200 here, 4,150 is indicated as the near-term target, and you can see we've got a tremendous amount of in-the-money calls, a tremendous amount of out-of-the-money calls, and so it's call-dominated left and right. So we are in great shape here all the way up. The two reds that you see up here are due to JPM. This is the April expiry, so the end of the month. We'll have a roll. It's fairly small. And then this is what was just placed on last week. You can see it's already rearing its head. It's very, very big, very dominant. 0 DTE, very tight transition. You can see we're closed very close to it. This is a normal structure, 4145, 4150 being probably the dominant contribution for today. If we do push above that, we would see this 4165, 4170 area as being the next stopping stone. We don't think we're going to get aggressively higher than 4200 today, not from the 0 DTE, unless we see targeting. So watch that value command, where it's going to need more than just this in order to push higher today. The 1 DTE, which is Wednesday's expiry, again, 4150, real key here. You can see that everyone's targeting 4150 by tomorrow. You can see the 4110 is plus trans, and then below that it gets really loose and very thin. That's interesting, right? So just pay attention to that. Fairly dominant call expiry tomorrow, so it would not be a surprise if the structure remains intact through tomorrow, if we saw actually some downward pressure. Balance of the week, very positive in terms of a call domination overall. So for what we have to navigate and then what is coming off, it's kind of a simultaneous duality that happens here. We've got a tremendous amount of in-the-money calls below us that are vaporizing, and we have a good large amount of out-of-the-money calls that are vaporizing also. When they come off will matter, and that is the navigation that we have to do. Two transition zones are indicated here. So this 4095 to 4115 is key here. So just pay attention to that. And if we lose this area, this 4100, 4095 area, we do see the 4055 to 4075 zone developing as a new transition area, and would be targeting that on any weakness as a potential movement for the overall price. Taking a look at the combo, what can you say? Green as far as the eye can see. Now, for those of you who have been tracking this, you'll know about a week and a half ago this was not the case, and we were watching for this. So here we are. We're back to it. Very clean, very dominant structures above us in terms of gamma. To the downside, you can see it's very sloppy, very weak, and very ill-defined. And so we could actually have a lot of hiding areas. Watch the quarter levels. Those will become more dominant. Up here is 4250, not so much the 4225s yet, but look at the gamma levels. They're already they're short-dated. The bigger the number, the shorter the dating on these things, and that's pretty significant. So calls out of the money speculators are present and are dominating the air in the room. No put speculators below us, very important. I think the path is still up. Don't fight it, but until we see any evidence of the contrary, we're playing these bounces. We're buying the bounces and playing for 4150 and 4200 through the 4175 level, of course, the very dominant level here. Last slide here, plus GEX 4200, minus GEX 3800. Couple things that your eye should key in on. So 4,000 sitting right here. If we lose the 4,005, 4,000 level and we drop below, you can still see there's a couple nodes in there. But the key takeaway is that tenor, not the tenor of the structures, but the overall sentiment within the market will have changed for us to get down there. So be mindful of that. 4075 right here, real key level. So you can see that if we get a close below that, that puts us back into this really ill-defined transition. It's going to get ugly. We're going to just get chopped up in that area over multiple days, so just be aware of that. 4095 sitting kind of this first line in the sand with this node sitting here. 4150 and 4200 are real key. If we see targeting in 4150, we could see it grow and actually take the plus GEX title from 4200. And we are watching the growth of the values that are out here. This is a 50, this is a 43, and you can see what's happening there. So just be aware of that, that the 4250, the 4300, 44, 45 are all in play here and should be watched. So that's it for today. If you have any questions, comments, would like to come in, kick the tires, GammaEdge.us pricing tab, upper right hand corner, fill it out or click on it, fill out the blanks, come on in, 14-day free trial, no risk to you. A lot of great traders, and we really appreciate it. Twitter, follow us, GammaEdges with an S, and then here on YouTube, smash that like button, thumbs up if you like today's commentary. It gives me immediate feedback that I'm providing content that you want to see. And then second, of course, follow us, subscribe, because Taylor and I post videos every day and we want you to see what we're seeing. So with that, I bid you farewell. Make it a great Tuesday and hope to see you in the Discord. Thanks, everyone.